questions and comments. Question et commentaire. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, it's hard to believe that the member actually has the tenacity to say that the Liberals and NDP are anti-workers. And what it causes me to think about, Mr. Speaker, is the fact that, you know, in the Canada-Ukraine trade agreement, there's a labour component to it. Is that the reason why the member opposite does not support and voted against the Canada-Ukraine trade agreement? If that's not the reason why, can he have the courage and tell us why he voted against the Canada-Ukraine trade agreement?
The Honourable Member for Chilliwack-Hope.
Well, I understand why that member doesn't want to talk about his voting record on anti-replacement worker legislation, because he too voted against anti-replacement worker legislation in 2016 and again in 2019, but he's in good company. So did the Minister of Labour. So it wasn't an urgent issue until it was urgent that they get the support of the NDP to maintain their power sharing agreement in Ottawa. So yes, he's voted now. Now he's seen the light. And the light comes from the NDP, who's demanding that this is the new way that things are going to go. The NDP, a Liberal coalition, is alive and well, and I understand why that member doesn't want to talk about this legislation or the fact that he's consistently voted against the interests of workers in this country.
In comments, the Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Government House here.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. The member is saying support workers, support jobs. And one of the things that supports workers and jobs is trade agreements. And yet we see just last week, the Conservative Party en masse voted against the Canada-Ukraine trade agreement. Can the member indicate as to why it is that he himself chose to vote against the Canada-Ukraine trade agreement?
The Honourable Member for Calgary Rocky Ridge.
Mr. Speaker, I'm sure that question was out of order for relevance, and but I can understand why this member would not wish to ask a question relevant to the speech that I just made. It's because he knows he's one of the members that has already voted against anti-replacement worker legislation in this House more than once. So I fully understand why he won't talk about the bill or ask me a question about this bill, because his flip-flop that he is undertaking right now is not something that he wants well understood by his constituents, perhaps.